The Texas Connection. Many of you have asked over the years, why do so many romance scammers using fake profiles always claim to be in Texas? You may have noticed during our chats as Betty and just in general run ins with fake profiles online, they all claim to be in the Lone Star State. There's several reasons for this, so let's take a look. First of all, Texas is a big deal. The state itself on the map is huge. From social media stars to football to famous rappers, movies, music, and more comes from Texas. If you were to ask a foreigner who's maybe never been to America to name a state, most would say Texas, California, or New York. Texas is shown and mentioned on TV and in movies and music, and keep in mind, a lot of romance scammers have never been to the States, but they're exposed to our Western culture all the time. Another factor: oil in the Gulf. Many romance scammers' fake profiles claim to be on oil rigs on ships or working in the oil industry in general. This again falls back to Texas, which is often shown in the entertainment industry and in movies as a place with oil fields, and the Gulf Coast features ships and offshore oil rigs, which falls perfectly in line for a romance scammer to create a fake profile who works offshore in the Gulf on an oil rig. It would make sense for him to say he works offshore on an oil rig in the Gulf Coast and then have a home in, say, Houston or Dallas. Texas is popular. Sorry, Nebraska. But in reality, the great state of Texas is talked about often, be it for their politics, culture, music, industry, food. All the biggest companies in recent years have moved to Texas, and it's exposed to the world. And yes, to romance scammers living in other countries, that Texas is a happening place. Not to mention again, it's a big state. Show a map of the US to anyone, and they'll almost always point to Texas, mostly because it's big and it's there, taking up the bottom part of the map, but most importantly, it's a known state. The same can be said again for California. But with that being said, keep in mind that while a romance scammer might put the Lone Star State to their claim to be living and working, they know little to nothing about what it's like to actually live there. They claim to be in Dallas, but know nothing of the streets, culture, locations of famous places, the football team, where to eat, or anything that locals might know. Outside of those major cities, they wouldn't know anything outside of Dallas or Houston or San Antonio. The scammer will know nothing about smaller neighborhoods, smaller towns, or even places in and around the Lone Star State unless it's a major city. So it's always best to keep this in mind. In reality, when someone asks for money or gift cards, block them. No matter what their story is, even if they claim to be from an oil rig and working in Houston, there will always be a problem. As always, take care, stay safe.